welcome to session 5. What are we cooking today, Jo?
Spaghetti bolognese.
Fantastic. What a favourite, right?
Absolutely. I think most of our Australian kids were raised on spaghetti bolognese and Vegemite. Yeah.
I'm not so keen on the Vegemite, but certainly the bolognese.
Oh, I love both.
Yeah, wonderful. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about healthy bones and healthy muscles. So we're going to jump right into it. Jo, you've already done a bit of prep going on here.
Yep, absolutely.
So what have we got? What's our ingredients today?
Obviously when you are making spaghetti bolognese, you automatically think of mincemeat.
Yes.
And mincemeat can be done in millions of different ways, but often it just is the bolognese is the simple, easy one to do.
And we've got the lean one today, don't we?
And we've got the lean one, and you can get it with various degrees of fat, and it's nice to go for the lean one because it's
healthier.
It's much healthier.
Yeah, and there's different types too. I suppose we could different the pork and the kangaroo and all sorts of different things.
Well, I think the Italian families usually do a combination of pork and veal for their, maybe different parts of Italy, but they weren't so familiar with using beef.
There you go.
But actually, I would actually use turkey mince too, because turkey is the lowest. It's free range. It's lean. You know, it's fantastic, and there's very little fat in it.
All right. Yeah. What have we got veggie wise to cut up here? We've got
actually pretty much. Yep, you can pretty much put any veggies you like in it. I many years ago, I was a cook in a childcare centre. My friends opened a childcare centre and asked me if I'd like to cook for 60 little kids every day, and I absolutely loved it because I'm a bit of a kid person. I love just
and a foodie,
little kids, and a foodie, and so I used to hide all sorts of things in the bolognese. I used to grate the pumpkin. I used to put lentils. They never knew. I actually made them lentil patties. They never knew that they weren't meat.
What a wonderful way of sneaking in the vegetables,
just make it tasty, and then they're unaware of it.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much use anything. We've got a nice assortment here. We've got mushrooms, carrots, zucchini, which you can do a million different ways. Zucchini is a really good veggie.
I like zucchini too.
It's fairly bland, but you can add anything to it. That's what's so great about it. And a red capsicum, a little bit of celery just for that little bit of extra umami. And we've even got an eggplant. Now, my mum and dad used to grow eggplants, and mum used to use them in curries and what have you, and they are absolutely a vegetable that I think has slid under the radar in Australia. Yeah,
I think it absorbs all that beautiful flavour, and in a bolognese,
it'll just give you nutrition without overbearing anything. Yeah. But you can do great things with eggplants.
Absolutely. What have you got to cut up here? I can see there's a few.
I've got some celery and the eggplant. I'll do the eggplant.
A couple of these as well. There we go, popping all next to you. So whilst Jo does some cutting up, I'll start talking about our healthy bones and healthy muscles, because what a great recipe to start with that topic, because we've got our lovely lean mince meat that has a great amount of protein. Now protein, we're very much a key nutrient in our muscle health, but also in our bone health. So how important is that, Jo? Like, I know yourself, you go to the gym and keep up with your exercises and things like that. So how important is things like our protein?
Well, I think, I guess I've been blissfully unaware of trying to keep fit was such a benefit, but I did actually break my hip 3.5 months ago, and the people in the hospital were surprised how strong my leg muscles were. Maybe the fact that I'd been doing Pilates for 18 months, twice a week, but eating good food.
And I suppose when you went through
and doing exercises.
And I suppose when you went through that operation, you would have been told about the importance of protein in your recovery, and also calcium being another point as well, which we're going to be very much talking about with our bone health side of things.
So
other proteins could include obviously your chicken, your fish,
eggs.
We've been talking about it throughout our sessions, haven't we?
Yes.
But if you're not eating meat, there's vegetarian sources as well. So we've obviously got our lentils, our legumes, all of those beautiful things. But how do we, I mean, there is a difference though between our animal products versus our plant-based products in terms of protein. You've heard me talking about this before too, haven't you, Jo?
Yep.
Yep.
I still haven't quite got a handle on it. I've got to find a really exciting way to cook tofu.
I think it is a struggle for a lot of people with a vegetarian sort of diet, but certainly you've put a good point, because soy products are a great source for vegetarians to get the amount of good protein in.
Sure.
Because they have all the essential amino acids in them. So
All right.
the amino acids are the ones that build up the protein, basically. They're the building blocks.
Okay.
So with our animal products, all our essential amino acids are in there. With our plant-based, with the exception of a couple, which soy is one, quinoa is another, they don't have all those essential amino acids in them. So what we really need to do, in particularly if you are following that vegetarian diet for whatever reason, is making sure that you're getting a full complement of different foods, particularly foods that have little bits of protein that complement each other. So they have one side of them have some of the essential amino acids, and the other side have the other essential amino acids.
Okay.
So for example, for this recipe, if we weren't using our lovely mince there, we could use lentils.
Yep.
Or other beans and things. And of course our pasta is the other side. So pasta has a little bit of protein, not heaps, but does have a little bit.
Yep.
And the lovely lentils complement that, giving us our full amino acid chain, so giving us that complete protein, which is excellent, right? So what a clever little way of just complementing and picking up that diet if we need to as a vegetarian. So, but I love adding lentils to bolognese. I don't know about you.
Well, I think also it makes economic sense as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
It's a little bit cheaper. It makes it go a longer way.
Absolutely.
And how versatile is using the sauce of bolognese.
Well, if you're making a batch like we are, this is going to make quite a big batch.
Yeah,
actually.
I know.
It freezes well, and I would be inclined, and in fact I do that, is when I've made it and when it's cooled down, I'll put it in little parcels like single serve parcels in the freezer.
Yeah.
And maybe do a baked potato, and when you know how you do your baked potato and put the cross in the top and then you squeeze it.
Yeah.
Just put the
Sauce
once it's
on
baked,
top.
put the sauce on top
Yeah.
with some Parmesan cheese. Even put a poached egg on top of that.
Perfect. And you know what?
Absolutely yummy.
It comes back to our healthy eating and using a good carbohydrate, having some salad on the side of that to get our veggies in, but also we're going to have lots of veggies in there, bolognese sauce to help with that. Our protein obviously is our mince or our lentils, whatever we've got going for that one. So perfect. What a perfect meal. And how easy when you've already got the frozen bolognese mix ready to go.
Absolutely.
How delicious.
So
Yeah.
leftover bolognese mix in the freezer is just fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, you could even throw it in one of those little packets into your soup. You know,
As it can be like a little starter, similar to like a soup.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like the can of soup. Yeah.
Yeah, I certainly tricked a lot of the kids at the childcare centre into eating things that they wouldn't eat if it was a single thing on a plate.
Yeah, absolutely. So all really good, helpful things for the budget, for the using the leftovers, all of those sorts of things. And of course our health, because we're packing this full of veggies. And honestly, I feel like when I pack so many veggies in, I don't actually notice it all that much eventually. It all just sort of blends together and the beautiful flavours come through.
Well, these veggies smell delicious without even cooking them.
Don't they? Don't they? I agree. But key point I want to come back to is you mentioned the exercise, right? And how good that was for potentially keeping you from having fractures and things like that. So aside from our nutrition and our food, definitely exercise is such an important point for our muscles, for our bones, all of the above, right?
Even if it's just a 20-minute walk every day.
Absolutely, absolutely. Moving the body is so important. And we also got another element to our bone health, which is, of course, having some cheese, yeah? Adding some cheese to our dish is going to add what? What are we getting from the cheese?
Dairy.
Dairy, yes, but what's the C?
Calcium.
Calcium, absolutely. What a key nutrient we have for our bones. So adding this to the dish as well is going to add that bit of extra calcium, but it's also going to add some extra protein because it's a dairy product.
Yeah.
So that's another thing we can get our protein from. So how good is that, right?
Wonderful.
The other element of
so much goodness in one dish.
So much goodness. The other thing of our bone health is we're thinking about vitamin D. Do you know much about vitamin D?
No, but I take a pill every morning.
Yeah, it's often people will supplement, but I mean, key sources are things like our sunshine outside when it is sunny, having some sunshine, or there is different foods as well, like egg yolk and different nuts and seeds that also have got some vitamin D in it. But I think we're ready for cooking. It looks like everything's ready to go.
So I'll just duck over here and turn the stove on. So I'm just putting a little bit of olive oil in the pan because it just is lovely to saute the onions. And so we'll start off with the onions and pop them in the pan. That's wonderful.
How good does onion smell when it starts?
Oh my goodness.
Caramelizing a little bit.
That's what adds the flavour.
Especially with the garlic as well.
Absolutely.
Delicious.
So I'll just give that a little bit of a stir with my spatula. Yummy, yummy. I'll pop a little bit of garlic in.
When we say a little, we mean a lot.
Is that a lot? Is that a lot? I might just put a bit more.
I love garlic.
I mean, garlic's really wonderful.
I think it's beautiful, beautiful and flavoursome.
It's good for all sorts of things.
Absolutely.
Not good for just starting off a new relationship if the new person doesn't like garlic, but anyhow, that's the way of the world.
I think it scares people off, which is the best trait.
Don't breathe on me.
Yeah.
Okay, a bit of beautiful red capsicum, which smells divine.
All the hard ones are going in first by the looks, so the ones that take a little bit
longer
to
take
cook.
a bit longer to cook.
And then it's the meat, isn't it?
The carrot's going to take a while.
Carrots.
See, we're hiding all these yummy veggies in the bolognese, and because it's going to cook down, they're going to be really hard to identify.
Perfect.
If there's anybody,
they're going to be tasty. Best thing ever.
They're going to add flavour, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So here we go with our mince. So excuse my fingers, guys. The easiest way to handle it, break it up a bit.
I'll get those ones out of the way for you.
Make sure you've broken it up so it's not lumpy.
It's starting to smell wonderful, Joe. So the celery going in.
Put some celery in.
Celery in.
So meat to veggie ratio, we've actually probably got more veggies in here than meat, but...
Which matches our plate, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It matches our healthy plate where we actually have a higher amount of our veggies.
And if you're making this for just one with these ingredients, obviously you're going to have quite a bit to freeze, which makes life so easy and for the next couple of weeks for you to just grab one of your little packets of frozen bolognese mix out of the freezer and use it in so many different ways. On toast for breakfast with an egg on top.
Delicious. Now, I love making a toasty out of my bolognese sauce.
Fabulous.
Putting a little bit of cheese on top, putting some spinach, putting in the toasty maker.
We're definitely going to need some salt in here.
Salt.
Now we can go tomatoes. Oh, we got mushrooms.
Can't forget the mushrooms.
I was a hobbit in my last life and I just love mushrooms. I love them.
Wonderful. I'll get that out your way if you'd like, Joe. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, where's those mixed herbs? Yes. No, here. Italian mix. Of course, that's where bolognese started from
Italy.
Our Italian families.
Absolutely.
So, but if you happen in the summertime to have fresh basil and other fresh herbs, that's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, what a good combination, right? All those beautiful Italian herbs.
You know, before we were introduced to it, it was savoury mince.
There you go.
And us growing up, we had savoury mince.
There's that one there for you, Joe.
And we loved it, but it was so boring compared to this.
There's also that one there for you.
Uh-huh.
There you
Look
go.
at the spoon.
Hope that helps.
In a little while, we'll put the other tin of tomatoes. You're going to have lots of this if you're cooking for one to serve for future meals, which is really fantastic. That should do.
And we're mixing a bit of nutmeg as our last one.
A little touch of nutmeg. I want to go home and make this as well. Now, if I was at home, I'd probably put half a glass of red wine in this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree.
Yeah.
All right, let me just fill these and give you a little bit of water.
I think that's going to be
There's
quite,
a little bit of water in that one there, Joda,
quite yummy.
to lighten it off a little bit.
Now we'll quietly turn that heat down. Oh, time to serve up our spaghetti
And
bolognese.
how good does that
It
smell?
looks and smells amazing.
All right, shall we get into our pasta?
I think so. I think
So
so.
today we've actually used the smart pasta, and now this is a great alternative for people that don't really like that really heavy dark wheat type pasta,
okay.
the whole meal one, because it has got that fibre content as well.
You could always use, you know, the shells or the curly pasta as well. You know, if you're struggling with eating with dignity, with the long
Yeah, I mean,
strands.
like you say, there's people that don't like the spaghetti.
Yeah,
And there
absolutely.
certainly is different pastas like the pulse pasta you could try as well, which has got some good fibre to it too.
Sure.
Which I think that's the main thing when we're thinking about our pasta, right? We're thinking about our fibre content.
Sure.
It's one of those healthy carbohydrates, so I reckon we need a little bit more than that. Come on.
Do you?
I reckon.
Oh, gosh.
Give us a little bit more.
If I'm trying to give you a little bit more, I'm going to get a lot more.
Just take it.
That whole lot.
Do it.
I'm going to do that.
All right, so we've got our pasta, we've got all our noodles. Let's get this sauce on. Looking pretty fabulous there, isn't it?
Does look wonderful.
Okay. Oop.
It's not
Got an
dead yet.
escapee noodle. All right, some wonderful sauce. How good does that look? And smell.
Hearty, real food.
Hearty, real food, absolutely. Put a little bit more juice on there. All right, so
Beautiful.
we've got a couple touches to go, don't we? We've got our cheese and, of course, our herbs. But, I mean, my favourite herb to put on top, which we don't have today, is some fresh basil.
Yeah, basil is more of a summer herb to grow in your garden. You can buy it in the fruit shops and in the supermarket.
There we go.
Basil has just got a world of its own. The smell of it, it's just absolutely the
Wonderful,
most
right?
wonderful herb.
I think it's what makes bolognese for me is that basil smell. But I mean, nonetheless, parsley is still so good, and that's what we've got today because it's grown in the garden with you.
Absolutely.
And how good does that look? Well, we're missing one piece over here.
Oh,
There we go.
got away.
Looks amazing. And we've got a really beautiful meal where we've got healthy carbs, we've got some lean protein, we've got our beautiful vegetables, we've got some cheese on top with some dairy, some calcium. Pretty good meal, I'm going to
Absolutely
say. And
beautiful.
again, I'm looking forward to eating this one, aren't you, Joe?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.